It's not a long weekend where you are in WA or Queensland, but restrictions are certainly lifting across the country. Many people now allowed to travel intrastate. It's certainly been a tough year with not only COVID-19, but the drought, the bushfires, but hopefully domestic spending will increase. What are your advice? What's your advice and tips for people wanting to travel?
Yes, good morning. It is definitely been an interesting year when it comes to travel, and it is super exciting that we can now get out and about again because those regional businesses, all the tourism businesses, I'll be honest, need our money at the moment. But the fact that we can actually get out there and we had our long weekend here in WA last weekend. It was great to be able to go down south to Margaret River and to go and see the businesses because they have been they've been absolutely destroyed during their peak seasons. These businesses, a lot of them are seasonal. They only get one bite each year at it, and if they miss it because of bushfires or if they miss it because of other things, it's not like the whale sharks stick around just because the people couldn't come and see it. So it's an exciting time, but it's an interesting time as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. The Kimberley, is that opening today or did yesterday as well?
Yeah, so the Kimberley has just opened up this weekend, which has been fantastic. That was sort of the last bit of WA that we were waiting for, and that was limited by a lot of things. But it's fantastic because now is the opportunity, and all Australians love to travel. It's just a thing that we do. But what's been amazing is seeing all of the different tourism boards putting out their campaigns about holidaying in your backyard, and during the bushfires, it was come with an empty esky. Carry that on now. Go out and take your empty eskies, see these businesses, and go and do these things. We have a campaign here in WA at the moment that's almost as if you're not West Australian if you haven't. And it's things like riding camels on the beach or swimming with the whale sharks or having the red wine by fire in Margaret River. There's so many iconic things that we can do that a lot of us just forget to do because we're too excited to go and visit the rest of the world.
Well, that's right. It's right on our doorsteps, and we take that for granted sometimes. But obviously, in a pandemic, we can't go too far, so it's not a bad thing to actually be able to take a car ride to some of the local places. And as you mentioned, yeah, I wouldn't mind going myself to somewhere like the Blue Mountains in New South Wales and just sitting there by the fire and having a nice little drink and so forth. But let's talk about hotels and Airbnbs because we haven't been allowed to go to them for some time. What are your tips on staying safe? And do you think people are reluctant to go there? And, we've got to adhere to social distancing, the cleanliness.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been talking to a lot of my friends because the cleanliness seems to be a big one. And for me, I think I'm more inclined to stay at a hotel because I feel like they have a professional cleaning staff and things are going to be to higher standards than an Airbnb. But then all my friends tell me that, Airbnbs have the professional cleaners as well. It's same. I think, to be honest with you, it's just about calling ahead, doing your research, making sure that you've are these places actually open that you're going to go to? Are there amenities open that you're going to? Or are you going into regions that aren't quite ready for tourists yet? For accommodation, what are these businesses doing to make sure that they're following the rules? I know that all of us have received an email in these unprecedented times telling us what every single business is doing, but it's really important to make sure that these businesses are adhering to whatever their local standards might be. So I think my tips would be call ahead, do your research, make sure you understand where it is you're going, and manage your expectations. I think it's a great time to do a road trip. You're safe, you're in the confines of your own car. You can go where you want to. You can interact with who you want to. Use your head at this time, but by all means, get out there and travel.
Well, of course, we've got, the theme parks, which who believed to have lost millions of dollars per month. We've just had 8 straight days of no COVID-19 cases in New South Wales. We've got the ski season coming up, and it's going to be very interesting to see what rules are going to be applied to the ski season as well.
Yeah, will you be able to jump on the chairlift next to your friend or not? there are all of these attractions are opening, and I think some of the attractions, they were really lucky. The zoos were able to do virtual tours, or the Bustleton Jetty did an underwater tour, so we were able to experience some of these attractions. But now that they're open and now that we can go back, we need to be going back in droves. But wash your hands, especially when you're out in places with all these people, and touching multiple surfaces. you know Make sure you're practicing the social distancing. Wash your hands. Don't try not to touch your face where possible. But that doesn't mean that we can't have fun. Get out there, get back to the zoo, get back to the amusement parks. I did hear something. Someone said there was going to be no screaming on roller coasters because, we don't want to have all that water coming out. I don't know how we're going to stop people from screaming on roller coasters, though.